Uh, so this session is definitely getting recorded, and it will be available in the YouTube channel. I'll show you the ISACA Bangalore YouTube channel where it will be posted for your later on viewing. So anyway, I once again welcome you all on behalf of ISACA Bangalore chapter, and this is a free introduction sessions. We'll be mostly focusing on these 4 core certifications, that is CISA, CISM, CDISC, and CGIT. And of course, we'll also spend some time on the upcoming CDPSC or CEDAP-C, what they call. That's currently on early adoption. I will discuss on that. I'm also parallel looking at the chat window in my other screen. So anything, please keep typing on the chat window. I will be just looking at that also. And we'll also talk about CSX briefly at the end. But predominantly our core discussion will be around how to, in fact, how to go about for these 4 core certifications. That's the whole agenda for today. So this is again a welcome screen, and I'm sure you can see all this. We have. I'll quickly take you through what is ISACA, and differently we'll talk about ISACA Bangalore chapter. What is ISACA? I'm sure many of you would have already gone through the ISACA website, and basically we have this CPE sessions. Anyway, that's not so important at this point of time, but so we have next Saturday also a very interesting session. CPE is basically for people who got certified. That's basically continuing professional education. We provide these CPE sessions to members. So next Saturday we have a very interesting session on risk analytics. You too can join. Of course, for you people who are not yet started this certification journey, CPE may not be so relevant, but it's a knowledge session by two senior folks from Deloitte. We'll be talking on that. So these are the frequent sessions what we keep doing on Saturdays, of course, few of the Saturdays, and this is predominantly an introduction session to introduce to you all the key certifications of ISACA, and of course we'll discuss the classes, the review classes what Bangalore chapter basically provides for the aspirants who would like to take these exams. We'll discuss more in few time. So quick agenda. So quickly I'll talk about what is ISACA, not taking too much time, and then we'll talk about ISACA Bangalore chapter. I would like to make it more live. In fact, when I say live, because I'll just toggle between sites. I just want to, I know you, I think you can see my screen. So I'll be toggling between, because it's better to show you live what's out there rather than just taking you through PPT. So I once again welcome you all. Myself, I told you I'm Satish Kumar Vivashi. I'm the current president of ISACA Bangalore chapter. You all can connect with me on LinkedIn. Of course, feel free to connect. It's more of a the passion which really drives us. We're all volunteers, not only me, along with me, the whole team of ISACA Bangalore chapter. But yeah, we will share the PPT. There's nothing much in the PPT, don't worry. So this is the Bangalore chapter. I'm sure most of you know how ISACA works. ISACA is a Chicago-based, of course, a not-for-profit US-based organization where they offer these key certifications, like the 4 key certifications. So we are from the local ISACA Bangalore chapter. I know a lot of participants joining from different cities, from different even countries. I can say maybe I did not have much time to take a poll on that, but so this is an initiative by ISACA Bangalore chapter, one of the very active, vibrant chapter in India. There are many chapters in India, and we are the largest chapter in India. When I say largest, based on the membership size, member size, and of course the active events what we constantly provide value to the members. So ISACA Bangalore chapter itself is a quite an old chapter. You can see it was incorporated in 96, or we started in 96. So this is the committee. In fact, every year there's a committee. So this is myself, along with me, the whole team. All of us are, let's be very clear, all of us are volunteers here. And we have all of us who are basically active in this executive committee. We all have our own day jobs, and we are basically trying to give back to the community, or it's more like I've been a volunteer for ISACA Bangalore for more than a decade now. Now that's the whole background of ISACA Bangalore. You can just go to isakabangalore.org, and not taking much time, we will straight jump into the uh, I know you all are more curious basically to get into understand the core certifications. So, and I will slowly get into one by one, and we will. So, I'm just trying to build the context first, in the sense why ISACA, while there are many certifications, I'm sure all of you know, right? There are so many industry leading certifications. In fact, why ISACA and why CISA or CISM or CRISC or CGIT? That's the whole point of this session. And of course, we will and we'll discuss all your queries, questions, and we'll make it more interactive as it gets built. So, so quickly again, let me first quickly take you through what is ISACA. And again, ISACA, of course, it's one of the very, so this is, I'm sure most of you would have gone through the ISACA website. So it's a very large, of course, professional association for individuals and enterprises. It's a global non-profit. It's like a large community, right? And you can see serving so many professionals, and close to 200 plus or more chapters worldwide. So we are one of the very active, largest chapter in India. And I told you it's a member-based organization. Now, I myself, I've been an active member, or I'm a platinum member. So definitely a lot of value. I'll talk about membership value also. And so basically it's a great community to join. Maybe at the end, I'll talk about how you can join this community, how you become member, and that's the whole purpose of this session. And you can see the growth and what is the impact ISACA has created, right? In fact, in many of the professionals, like of course, like me and many of you, right, who we want to get into this journey. So highest certifications levels in our history. So you can see all the certifications, CISA, CISM, CRISC, and CGATE are highly acclaimed. We'll talk about that. In fact, most of the, if you go and look at industry surveys, right? So all these 4 certifications stay in the top 5 or top 10. Of course, there are other industry certifications like CISSP or CCSP or CompTIA certifications. So if you look at any IT certifications, so all 4 ISACA certifications really score very high. In fact, highly desirable and to have in your CV, and of course to make it much stronger. So I'll slowly build the whole case why cyber security, how it's one of the key, in fact, I should say, very interesting domain, cyber security, information security, and how today with the growing threats. So probably I'll move to a different context and spend 10 minutes time in how today cyber security is becoming very important, and how these certifications are absolutely relevant for each one of you, right? So that it really adds value to a CV, and it helps you, right, to progress in your career to move to the next level. So again, these are some of the, I don't want to read out. So, but yes, ISACA, in fact, very strong. And this is just a very strong, vibrant community and global presence. Of course, globally, you go to any part of the world, any country, any city, you will find a fellow ISACA member. You can connect with him or her. And absolutely, it's a great community to really be. And that's what we'll talk about, the membership value, and as we move along. So the whole purpose of ISACA, the purpose behind ISACA is to develop these professionals. So we'll spend some more time at a later stage, in fact, on all these 4 certifications. This is just one of the independent survey, right, done by Global Knowledge. Every year, this Global Knowledge, right? You can go and Google top 15 or top 10, 20, top 10 certifications, right? So based on certain rankings. So naturally, end of the day, right? End of the day, everything is boils back to it, like how certifications can really increase right? My salary or my worth, in fact, in industry. So these are, of course, some of the US numbers. You can see all 4 certifications really score in top 15, top 10. There are so many surveys, independent surveys done by leading bodies, right? You can just go and if you type any top 20 IT certifications or top 10 security certifications, you'll always find CISA or CISM or CRISC or even Seagate, all 4, right? Absolutely. Of course, along with other industry leading certifications, we will spend some more time on each one of them, which one is the right certification for you. When I say you, of course, based on your domain, your expertise, your aspiration, right? Where you want to move your career. Probably currently you are a chartered accountant, you are a auditor, you are a IT professional, you are a developer, you are a tester, whatever you are. And of course, I will at the end, I will also spend more time definitely talking with you about how we can really help you, right, in picking up the right certifications, which one to start with. I will definitely try to make it more easy for you. I know that that's the normal question what we keep getting. Which one shall I start with? I will make it more easy for you. So these are the 4 key certifications. I'm quickly talking about ISACA first, and then we'll move to the. So again, I'll not get into too much details. ISACA globally, they conduct a lot of conferences, there's a lot of learning material online. That's where we'll spend some time. So predominantly ISACA is a research organization where that's where you can see a lot of, in fact, blogs, articles, knowledge base. So there's so much of information out there, especially for, I should say, for members or even for non-members also. I think that's where I thought, I told you in the beginning, I will not make it boring PPT show. I will just show you live. I'll take you through the ISACA website and see a lot of valuable resources which are available for each one of you. You should really go and spend, especially in the current situation, right? So it's the best time to go back and upskill, upgrade yourself, and by reading a lot of material which is out there. Basically, it's a large community, industry professionals, right, with a lot of experienced guys, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, people are put into this industry, right? So ISACA itself is a 50-year-old organization. I'm sure most of you know, or in fact, last year, if you would have gone through the ISACA website, it was so prominent about the logo itself was ISACA 50. In fact, I think right now that site is, so ISACA 50 was a very prominent logo, right? In fact, the whole website itself was talking about 50 years journey. So probably when you go back to the ISACA website now, when I go to why ISACA, maybe you can just go back and spend some time how ISACA has been providing value, right? It's now, it's a 50-year-old. So how the purpose and promise now for the past 50 years, right? You can see for more than 50 years now how ISACA has been, right? A professional community body, right? Where it started as a EDP Auditors Association and then became ISACA. We don't expand today ISACA. ISACA, if you expand, it is Information Systems Audit and Control Association, but we don't, because it's no more just an audit association. It's much beyond, because it started with as an audit, of course, audit. Mostly whenever we talk ISACA, people relate back to IS audit. Of course, that's what is the CISA, the flagship certification from ISACA. But yes, in fact, so ISACA is not only, it's about CISA, but they're moved, it's more today in risk management, governance, even in cybersecurity. Of course, most of you heard of COBIT, which is a very a wonderful framework on IT governance, and it's a great framework. So it's no more audit, but yes, still ISACA's CISA flagship certification still remains on the top of the charts. If you pick up any top 10, top 20, or top 5 certifications, you'll always see CISA as one of the key certifications. So definitely there's a lot of things to be explored in the ISACA website. I just leave it to you. Just spend some time, go to isaca.org, and you'll see a lot of value. So I think the next point what I want to focus is on membership. Absolutely, membership. Maybe I means whatever amount of I can spend some time in stressing as much as possible how, because it's a member based organization. As I told you, I myself I'm a platinum member. It means, of course, for past 13 plus years I've been ISACA member, and definitely there's a lot of value what I got, and that's where I'm continuing my membership. So if you go to membership, request all of you, again, it's not that I'm trying to sell anything, but then again, so professional membership, so there's a lot of value for membership. And why this is, again, the whole purpose of this intro session at the right time, because two things. One is we are entering into August. Now August is just, I think, a week away. Now why August is a very important, because I personally push people to take membership on 1st of August, because that is the best time to become an ISACA member. Uh, ISACA membership is typically it's a calendar year membership, Jan to December. But so normally people who have taken membership maybe last week or last month. I'm sure, I know there are some members already out there in this group. So people who have taken membership just recently, I'm sure you would have paid only half, because it's already more than naturally, right? We are in the mid of the year now, and your membership will expire this December 2020. And of course, ISACA has charged you only half. But very interesting. I know you can see there are these components. Basically, you can see what is the ISACA membership and what is the cost. Right now, of course, they're charging it half, but actually it is $135 plus there's a new member fee, and there's a local chapter due. The Bangalore chapter is $20. But why I'm stressing a little more on the August, because if you become a member in August 1st, I think that is the best time to become member. In fact, I just put a quick slide on that. So maximum value you can get your membership when you take a membership on, in fact, in August. When I say it's just 1 week away, because why I say maximum value, because in August they open up a scheme also called member, in fact, because that's the time when they want to add more members, ISACA. So I also push people to, because the point here is, when you become member in August, your membership will be valid till December 2021. Means next year, because you're paying an annual membership. Please understand, when you become member in August, they will charge annual membership. Again, this screenshot is again something similar. The referral screen will pop up. You can put an ISACA ID where you can also get a $10 waiver. Maybe you can reach out to me. I can help you. And basically, why this is the best period, because so you can see effectively this August to December is going to be free for you, right? So that is the maximum value I normally call. So this is the best time to become. That's fine. If you become member already, that's fine, no problem. You can renew year on year. But if you're not taken membership yet, please requesting all of you to become member in August, and maybe reach out to me. I can help you what membership, and naturally professional membership, and the best value, because membership will be valid. You are paying annual membership, but then you're getting effectively 1.5 years of membership value. Now, if you ask what is the value I'll get out of membership, I think there's a wonderful place here itself which talks about the member benefits. I don't want to take too much time on what is the value you get. So differently, members get a lot of value. You get a lot of free, when I say free content, free sessions, access to lot of resources. You unlock a plenty of resources which is as such available for all. In fact, it is mostly available for all, but again, members definitely there's a lot of additional value. Maybe I can send this link, or you can also yourself look at the membership benefits, which so mostly people take membership to save the examination fees, which we'll discuss at a later stage, because examination fees for a non-member is non-member exam fees is very high. So that's where basically is the key. So, so don't worry. I can see some comments. Definitely, we will focus on. We'll definitely will focus on certifications. So, and I will cover everything. Don't worry. Just have patience. So, okay. So, before no doubt, this is I don't have. So basically, this is just a placeholder. So I spoken about ISACA Bangalore chapter, about membership. So let's move to certifications. So let's move to certifications. I know that's what you are all keen in listening to, and I know you all want to. So let's now focus on the 4 core certifications what ISACA offers globally. So these are the 4 key certifications, and let me spend some time. So I know I can straight jump to talk about these certifications. I will straight take you through the website, the domains, and what should be a plan, how you should progress. But before that, I think it makes sense. It makes sense to talk about. Let me spend some time, not much time in basically talking about. So this is a wonderful, in fact, a recent survey done by ISACA on state of cybersecurity 2020. It's the whole. This report is out there. Why I'm taking you through this, because just to set the context of, just give me 5-10 minutes to talk about, because before I talk about certifications, it's worth to spend some time how cyber security or a career in cyber security, how it is, right? It's going to really is going to be very beneficial, and definitely in the current context, I'm sure all of you agree with me. Let me spend some time. Of course, it's a very detailed report with the current pandemic situation, right? We are seeing lot of changes, right? Especially in the industry, how attacks are increasing. I'm sure all of you agree today, right? The way today cyber security, right? So let me spend 5-10 minutes, because I myself, right, as a CISO for a fintech enterprise, I basically and I of course do a lot of talking in most of the industry forums. So I'm sure all of you agree today, every enterprise, whether it's small, medium, large, every enterprise is going through digital transformation, right, journey, right? Every enterprise is in a digital transformation journey. I'm sure you must have seen a lot of lighter jokes in the WhatsApp, right? Who has driven the digital transformation journey? Suddenly, COVID is the answer, because while the CIO drives this digital transformation journey in every enterprise, COVID has really made a lot of enterprises to really move faster in their digital transformation journey. I'm sure all of you agree with me, right? Suddenly, because of COVID, because of lockdown, overnight, many enterprises had to enable every enterprise workforce to work from home. It was not easy at all. Let me tell you, it was not easy at all, right? I think I'm sure all of you agree. All of you are from industry. I can see a lot of IT folks, right? So I'm sure you all, while we thank doctors, police, and a lot of medical practitioners, we should also thank IT professionals who enable you to work from home overnight, right? By providing laptop, by providing VPNs, whatnot. But why I'm talking all this? So along with that, don't you feel today cyber security is one of the key challenge, right? If you go and talk to your CIO office, if you go and talk to your IT friends or security friends, they say, oh, suddenly there's a huge, right? There's a huge focus to, because suddenly many organizations had to enable workforce to work from home. Why am I talking all this? Because just to set the context, how security is becoming very important in any in any organization, whether it's small, medium, large, whether it's regulated, whether it's bank or a non-banking organization or a financial organization, or no doubt most of the security initiatives have been driven in financial organizations because they are highly regulated. A lot of regulations, especially whether it's GDPR or the banking regulators like RBI or whichever country, regulations have driven them crazily to ensure that they manage information security, cyber security, right? They have a robust program, right, to manage information security. But having said that, even if it's not a regulated entity, any organization, right? If it's a manufacturing organization, so today, because COVID is not affecting only, COVID is affecting everyone, right? Every enterprise, right? Every enterprise. So in that context is what this is a wonderful report. I'm sure all of you, okay, you can put it in the chat window. Do you all agree with me? the overall threat landscape has changed. Do you all agree? Maybe you can type yes in the chat window just to make it more interactive. I'm sure you all are listening to me, but also just to make it more interactive. Do you all agree today? Every enterprise, right? I think while no doubt we keep talking about the threat landscape changing frequently, but suddenly COVID, I'm sure with COVID, I'm sure the threat landscape, the risk landscape, I should say, right, has completely changed. No doubt about that. In that context is what we are talking about, how these certifications, right, adds value to IT professionals or whichever professional you are, right? How? And second, let me lighter note, don't take it seriously, but I'm sure each one of you are discovering how do I make my career future proof. Again, I don't have slides. I like to talk it very interactive. So do you all agree? Cybersecurity is one of the domain which I can say loudly. It is recession-proof domain. Do you all agree? Maybe I should not say. Of course, traditionally also I say maybe Java. See all the IT professionals, right? Today you learn .NET, tomorrow Python, tomorrow Java. Java may go, something else may come. So most of the, because I come from the same IT domain, right? So typically people ask which stack shall I focus on, what shall I learn? That's all fine. But having said that, whichever underlying stack, whether it's Java or .NET or Python or C# or today Kubernetes or cloud, whatnot, you need to secure each one of them. So security, if you ask me, right, security domain, cyber security, information security domain is going to be a very exciting domain, future-proof domain, recession-proof domain. I normally, people ask me, Satish, but if I do CISA, what will happen to my career? What will happen to my future? Where my future will. So I tell absolutely, because see, I'm sure most of you understand Hindi, regulated industry, typically look at banking, financial industries. So please understand, especially these industries, people ask me which is the best industry to be, especially the regulated industry, banking, financial institutions, of course today healthcare, right? Healthcare, all these enterprises, right? So there is going to be a constant struggle for them to constantly be compliant with the growing compliances. I think that is constant. Now, whatever may change, you will remain. मतलब I don't know थोड़ा हिंदी, I don't want to talk Hindi. मतलब कोई कंपनी अगर बंद होने जा रहा है तो you will be the last person to, because why? Because you are going to be relevant, because compliance. I don't know how many of you agree. There was a nice GRC session I was attending. So how many of you agree, right? When SOX came in, when SOX came long back in 2002, so SOX became Sarbanes-Oxley. Again, I don't want to get into teaching more, but SOX compliance, right? Every US listed entity, whether it is listed in NYSE or NASDAQ, they have to be SOX compliant. But in that context, so I think there is a lot of debate saying that compliance is very expensive because of SOX. I need to put a framework. I need to have the ITGC, I need to put a framework in place, I need to have the controls in place, compliance is very expensive. So one gentleman said, oh yes, compliance is fine, but yes, compliance is too expensive. But then one gentleman said, okay, fine, then you try non-compliance. The point is, that's more expensive. Again, just lighter note, because you cannot try non-compliance, right? Because the penalties, right, today, right? I think we all understand today banks, if you go and Google, the number of the regulators putting penalties to these banks. So why am I talking all this? Compliance, GRC as a function, governance, risk and compliance, right? These functions are critical functions for any enterprise. Having said that, today, so I'm talking in twofold. One is how, of course, this is a survey, how cybersecurity is becoming so relevant. And second, the second most important thing is, while this survey talks about, so many respondents responded that we all understand cybersecurity is important, but getting the right skills. How do I get the right skills? Getting the right skill set, getting the right people into this domain is one of the other bigger challenge. You understand? So that is where we are talking about. So the point here is, one side we understand that cyber security is one of the important domain. And if you go and talk to, basically I'm talking about the broader GRC domain. So the point is the broader GRC domain and the skill set, the challenges. So the industry sectors, which sectors are hiring more? The financial sector, technology sector, consulting sector, of course, not naturally. And where is the hiring happening, and how the attacks are increasing? And basically in that context, why today every organizations want to hire knowledgeable resources, and the challenge is the skill set gap. That is what I'm going to talk about. The skill set gap. One side, the attacks are increasing, the landscape is changing, more attacks. And the second side is how this every organization, right? So while the threat actors and attack types are changing, we are seeing more and more attacks happening. But the other factor is how does organizations keep the security function, right? So how within the IT function, many organizations still IT manages security. How slowly today security as a dedicated function, many organizations today have a CISO function, have a security office in place, and with the growing compliances, how today security function is becoming one of the key function. I think I'm slowly going towards how the CISM certification, right? CISM certification is going to add a lot of value for your IT operations guy, people from the IT domain who are currently into IT operations. By adding CISM certification, how they can progress their career into security function is what I'm going to talk about that. And how's the staffing? Please understand, staffing, always you go and talk to most of the CISOs or department heads or security folks or even HR, they say hiring in security is always challenged because we don't get good people. So, and then the knowledgeable people, the point here is about how somehow, see, the whole world agrees that security team is understaffed or not staffed, not appropriately staffed. If you look at this survey also says that you go and talk to any CISO, no CISO in the world will say, I have sufficient staff. Every CISO will say that I'm struggling to keep the organization secure because one side the attackers are so busy. When I say attackers, I'm sure all of you know the bad guys are working 24/7. Okay, just maybe let me give a pause and let me ask you, do you all agree today in this current context? You go and look at any enterprise, small, medium, large, of course, no doubt banking, financial industries, and mostly healthcare, e-commerce, IT-enabled services companies, right? All of them who have a lot of, in fact, a lot of these, I should say, what you call, a lot of these enterprises who are highly regulated enterprises, definitely if you go and talk to them, their security heads, their folks, security senior folks will always say how difficult it is for them, right, in the current context. So yes, this is an interesting paper. You can download this paper. Yeah, it is showing my personal copy. I'm just also parallel looking at, you can download this. You can just, see, please understand, you don't need to become a member. You can just go create a profile. You can just create a profile and just download this. I can send you the link on the on this or maybe at the end of the session you will get a thanks mail there. In that I can I will talk about that. You can, yeah, without certification, yes, you can become a ISACA member. Rather, the starting point is to become the ISACA member. That's what I'm trying to focus on, because first certification, I'm going to slowly get into that space. So yes, so I'm also parallel looking at the chat window. I know I may not have, I may not be following the chat window so frequently, but because I'm talking, and yes, but yeah, that's open. So please, so why did I go here? I don't know. Are you able to connect to me what I'm talking? Why did I speak about first about this paper? It's not about the paper. First, I'm setting the context about how a career in cybersecurity, a career progression in information security is going to be very fruitful, because naturally you'll be investing a lot of time, money, efforts in preparing for the certification, what I'm going to talk about, but definitely you'll reap benefits out of that because of the current context. Do you all, can I get a yes that today every enterprise is understaffed or want to recruit a good knowledgeable cyber security professionals, and that's what is the major focus of the discussion for today's discussion. That is the key discussion what I'm trying to have. But equally, see, there are a lot of people joining here just to listen. So I thought it's not only about talking one way about certification, but I thought let me add some value about how. So again, as a lighter note, do you all agree today? Let me spend 5 more minutes. Do you all agree today when I say the adversaries, right? The bad guys or whatever, right? You want to call it as, they are working 24/7, right? And they are constantly seeing how they can really, whether they can, whichever enterprise, right? Because today we are seeing so much of outbreaks, right, in the news, right? Every day we see a data breach, cyber breach, right? Now see the challenge for the for the focus for the guys who are on the defending side. I'm talking two parts. One is the attackers, who are, of course, who are normally what we call, right, who are the normally what again, I don't want to talk too much technical here, but then normally what we talk in any in language, right? One is the defenders and one are the what you call the basically in a red teaming, what we call, right, the attacking team or the defending team. But the point is, most of the time people, if you go to attend any conference, right, people will only talk about attacks, breaches, vulnerabilities, how you can exploit, and they'll throw a lot of jargons, a lot of numbers. But I feel very pity for the security folks, saying that while you can easily talk about vulnerabilities, attacks, and all that, but let's talk about the skill set required for you to stop those attacks, right? Because that is the key. Even if you go and so most of people will do this ethical hacking courses. It is fun to go and talk hacking. Of course, I don't understand what's ethical hacking, but it's fun to talk about hacking. But the point is, the whole purpose of that is to defend the organization assets. Yes or no? So how do I defend my organization? I think the whole point is what? How do I defend? Because that's where is the key. That's the crux. The crux is, while the attackers are no doubt they are far ahead of the game, but having said that, in most of the CISO forums, when I talk, I say it is not that we will stay silent. It's not a lost battle. Yes or no? Is it that we will say, oh, no, we lost the battle. Now, are we giving up? No. As cyber security professionals, we cannot give up. We have to be ahead of the curve, right? We have to be ahead of the curve. That's where a lot of upskilling, lot of training, lot of learning, and each one of you, I think it's not about certification. So I don't want to talk only about certification, but each one of you, right, need to be passionate in this domain. Go back and upskill, go back and learn. It's a constant learning. This is a wonderful domain. I like this domain because every day something new is happening in this domain. And there's nothing, every day is a new day for you, right? Especially think of the work from home scenario today, right? Suddenly, are you all following? I don't know how many of you are following. Lot of webinars on zero trust model, right? And a lot of webinars on today. We ourselves, ISACA, we ran a webinar on zero trust. We ran webinar on how do I enable workflows securely. How do I ensure that your workforce is securely using the corporate resources? Amazing. But you need people. Please understand, the point is you need people. You need knowledgeable people to face this situation. And it is not about COVID situation. If not COVID, tomorrow something else will come in. The cyber crimes will continue. Cyber crimes, cyber attacks will constantly. So it is not that the numbers are only going up. And then if you ask me, these numbers are not going to come at all. They're not going to reduce. So the point is, lack of staff and oversight impacts operational performance. So the key factor, you go and talk to any CISO or any board, any CEO, the biggest worry for him is cyber security. And if I don't have time here, if I can open the global risk report of World Economic Forum, in top 5 risk, the biggest risk is cyber risk. Cyber risk, and definitely today, if you go and ask any CEO, any CIO, or any board member, they will say, we are not confident. That is the common statement you can find out. And please understand, cyber security is no more a technology topic. It is out there in every senior meeting, in every board level meeting today. Cyber security is an important agenda item, and cyber security is going to be very relevant. The number of attacks are going to be they'll go on, and then that's where it will relate to the hiring ability. Means it all depends on how quickly the organizations can, right, have a program in place, secure. In fact, I don't want to get into the details, but then how do you build that confidence level in organization about means how do you give an assurance? Please understand, now slowly I'm getting into, now I think with this background, I know you're all curious too. With this background, I don't know whether you agree or not. Now you can see this, the CEO, the CIO, the CISO, the CFO, and the board of directors, right? Basically, they're talking about the confidence level, the score, right? What they say, how confident are we on this issue? Do you all agree this issue? It is not, please understand, it is no more a IT problem. It is no more a security problem. It is a business topic. It is cyber security is no more just a technology. It is for the CEO to get worried. It is the CIO to get worried. No doubt the CISO, I don't know, again, I can spend a 5 minutes time in the lighter note, because I myself as a CISO, I don't want to talk loud, but there are a lot of analysis says that CISO's life in the organization is very short, because the moment you have a cyber breach, a data breach, I think you know, right? The CISO is the first person normally, right? I'm not saying losing job, but normally held accountable. How many of you heard of this Equifax breach? Equifax breach, and I don't know. I think many of you are keeping track of the data breaches. Go and look at the Equifax data breach, where not only the CISO resigns, but not only the CISO is fired. Okay, firing is a wrong word, but it's not only about the CISO, but including. Now suddenly you may wonder why a CEO has to resign, because please understand, cyber security at the top, the accountability is at the top. The CEO also is held accountable, because the governance is at the top. You understand? So the point is basically, finally, why? Because end of the day, unless there is no clear message from the top, so that is what we call the buying in from the top. So that is the context. Now I think that's the context I built the whole story. Now let's get into the certifications journey. So these are the key certifications in which we call, of course, CISA, CISM, CRISC, Seagate has been there for long by ISACA. CDIPSI is a new certification on privacy. I'm going to touch upon that because it's early adoption now. I'll talk about that, but I'll spend a lot of time on these 4 certifications. Now let's quickly, so why did I give the background? Now I know some people are a little restless, but then why did I give the background? Because I wanted to jump, because I don't want to simply say, oh, CISA is good, but then let's now get into the each of the certifications, whether it's slide or let me straight go to, I think best way is to, because you also can parallelly go along with me. So go to isaka.org, go to credentialing. These are the top credentials which will add value to your career. So let's go to certifications. Please understand the difference between certifications and a certificate. Now, a lot of people ask me this question. People say, I have done ISO 27001. That is a certificate course, right? A 5-day course where you go, right? So certificates, ITIL Foundation versus certification. Certification means, of course, these are certifications which has a methodical approach. You have to maintain the certification. You first showcase your knowledge, you get certified, and then you carry your certification year on year. You maintain the certification. All ISACA certifications are ANSI accredited, and because it goes through a lot of rigorous way to get this certification, because achieving CISA or achieving CISM or whichever certification. So let's now touch one by one. So okay, I'm looking at the chat window. someone is asking CISSP. So this is an ISACA's, I should say, seminar. So while again, CISSP is also a wonderful certification from IIC Square. I may not be able to talk that in this, but you can always so go back. So I don't want to draw comparison, but CISSP, of course, while ISACA has got these certifications, so there's also a similar body. I don't want to spend too much time, but then please you can need to go to iicsquare.org. Equally, one of the key organization like ISACA, which has got certifications like the CISSP, SSCP, CC. These are the certifications from IIC Square. But today, because this seminar is of course hosted by ISACA Bangalore chapter, my focus is to talk about the 4 core certifications of ISACA, that is CISA, CISM, and CRISC and CGIT. Let me now spend some time on which one is for whom. So let me put it very clearly, and that's where I just, I'm sure all of you, now I started my discussion about SOX, about compliance, about GRC. Now, why I just went to Notepad? Because I love to. So in this context, I'm sure all of you understand assurance is key. Yes or no? So assurance. So why I went to assurance? Because the point is, while you establish various frameworks, standards, whether it is standard like ISO 27001, right, or your SOX compliant, or you follow NIST standard or a framework, so you using certain standards, frameworks, you establish a whatever the whole GRC, what we call governance, risk, and compliance. But the end of the point is assurance, right? When I say assurance, you achieve assurance through audits, right? So IS audits is a very, very important domain. So IS auditing is a key, and in that context, CISA certification is very, very relevant in the context of, basically I'm making it very easy for you so that you can simply, the point is you aspire to get into assurance domain. Now, okay, let me put most of the big 4 firms, right? All big 4 firms, whether it's PwC, whether it's EY, or it's Deloitte, or maybe what you call your KPMG, right? Again, or even your productivities. There's a lot of organizations, even Grant Thornton, right? And there are so many. Even today, BDO is also very. I think is becoming a very key. So the point is, do you all agree? All of these organizations predominantly, again, I'm making it very practical, because I don't want to talk too much theory. So do you all agree today? All these auditing firms, they prefer CISA certified guys. Because why? Because majority, when we say these big 4 audit firms, they predominantly, their key focus is what? Is auditing. Because predominantly all these firms are traditionally they have been accounting audit firms, but no doubt today, even if they're talking about what you call accounting audits, but today while they conduct a lot of audits on financial systems, they have to touch a lot of technology. So today, most of the, if you are, because I do a lot of this because again, if you join the classes, you'll again meet me there. So in all my CISA classes and all, I meet a lot of CAs. I'm sure all of you know. I'm sure there may be some chartered accountants in this group. So a lot of CAs, right? It's not only CAs. CA is from ICAI or my other friends who are CPAs, right? CPAs from US. All of them prefer doing CISA certification because it is a highly acclaimed certification to get into IS auditing domain. Having said that, let me also put this. Normally, someone I'm myself creating questions and I'm trying to answer. People ask, I don't want to get into auditing. Is CISA relevant for me? Now that's a typical standard question people ask me. Now what does this mean? Now okay, let me put it back to you. Now, how many of you, okay, now I want a little participation. I know, say this is a webinar platform, you're all on mute because that's where we're having a good session, but at the end, I can unmute you, you can talk, we can have at the end, I'm also conscious of time. So, but at this point of time, do you all agree? I want a big yes or no. Do you all agree today, all this PwC, EY, Deloitte, or again, I'm not naming these people, but many firms, Do you all agree all these organizations are not only doing only auditing, they are also doing consulting? Yes or no? Can you say yes? Most of this, all of these people, right? If you go and talk to any of your big four friends, they say, I'm currently working on a project where I'm establishing an information security framework for a large IT company. Now, having said that, now that is what is my key point. Now, whatever knowledge you learn out of CISA, it is not that you have to go and do only audit on a whole rest of the life. No, please understand, the examination point of view, the examination is more audit centric. Am I making sense? Can I get a big yes? So the point is, it's not that you're doing CISA, you're learning the 5 domains of CISA. Of course, we talk about auditing, but please understand, CISA is a wonderful certification. It is not that you have to settle down in the whole of the life only into auditing. Because I know, because I get a typical question, Satish, I don't want to get into this auditing at all in my life. Is CISA relevant? Then I put this question. Will you love to work in a big four firm? They say, yes, I love to work in a big four firm. Then I say, then do CISA. Because why? Because it is not that you end up joining a big four firm and you will say, I will only do audit. No, sorry. Because end of the day, all these big four firms are highly credible firms. Lot of large enterprise will engage these big four firms to establish security, privacy, you know. So that I think you got the message. The message is, I'm not saying that you should do CISA only because you want to get into audit. Am making sense? So please understand. So CISA is for all. Anyone who want to get into CISA. It is not that you have, because people ask this typical question, oh, do I need to? But yes, it is an overwhelming certification. Now slowly I'm getting into the, actually I don't want to spend too much time on it. Now, you please go back and say, is CISA right for you? Yes. So that's a wonderful question. Someone asked, yes, there is another certification called DISA. Excellent. Good question. I myself have been teaching DISA. I should not say loudly, but in ICA also calls me, because I have a lot of my CA friends. The last ICA chairman, Shivram Bhatt, was my colleague in my organization. So I keep getting invites from him. DISA is a local certification only from the ICI India, but DISA is only recognized in India only, and only in the CA community, not by large. So I'm not saying, Shubham, your question is very valid. DISA, okay, one more point. DISA can be done only by a CA, not by all. Whereas CISA is open to all, and CISA is highly globally recognized. You go to any country tomorrow, CISA is highly recognized. Did I answer the point, Shubham? So maybe quickly I thought, okay, because it's not, so if you are a CA, you may do DISA, but equally you prefer to do CISA, because while a local bank may say in a RFP that an auditor should be DISA qualified, but a multinational bank will never say DISA only, they will prefer CISA, because, okay, to make it simple, CISA is a bigger version of DISA. DISA body of knowledge also is powered by ISACA. I should call it loudly. Yes, it is a smaller version of CISA, but I recommend all of you to go for CISA, because CISA is a much globally acclaimed certification. I'm not sure. Can I get a quick? Can you type in the chat window? Can you see my screen? Can you type screen? Because I'm displaying the 5 domains of CISA. Can you type screen so that? Okay, great. You can see my screen. Now, I don't want to get into a teaching mode now. These are the broad 5 domains. Now you can see how interesting it is. While it may start with the information systems auditing, you can see the coverage. And please understand, this body of knowledge, we call body of knowledge, gets revised every 4 or 5 years. And all of you, just last year only, ISACA revised this content. It's a very current content. The 27th edition is the current manual, and a very extensive, our classes are based on that very extensive manual, what I'm going to refer probably when you go back and study. 5 domains. Governance is the second domain, which is more aligned to COVID, and third domain onwards, it gets into little technology, systems, how systems are acquired, developed and implemented. Fourth domain is purely ITL and resiliency, BCP, and the last domain is purely on information security. Is it interesting? See what you're going to learn in a CISA. Now, I don't want to get into detail. So this is just a high level. So CISA is an excellent certification if you aspire, if you want to, means I'm not saying only if you want to become an auditor, but the point is, so please understand, a lot of people waste a lot of time in deciding, they are not able to decide which one shall I go. If you ask me, please start somewhere. Personally, if you ask me, don't wait. Start with somehow. Start with something. Because it's not that once you start with one certification, you will not end up with one. You will end up with a few more. I did my CISA in somewhere 2005, but then I did my CISM, then I did my CRISC, and then I did my CGATE. Based on how I progressed in my own career, I was initially into, of course, I was into consulting firm, doing audits, implementations. Then I thought CISM is good. Then I did CISM. So I'm talking about my own personal experience, and there are much more knowledge and much more experienced people in this room who can vouch for me, saying that you don't start with, you have to start somewhere. Okay, first of all, thank you once again. The first step you took is to joining this webinar, let me tell you. So once again, thank you. The second step is to take ISACA membership. And third step, which I'm going to talk, maybe I don't want to jump now. The third step is to join our review classes, which I'm going to talk very soon after I finish all my, the whole purpose of this curtain raiser, what we can call, or the intro session, is to tell you that please join our ISACA Bangalore chapter review classes, which are very, very valuable and at a very, very, I should say, affordable price, which I'm going to talk at a later stage. But let me now go back and talk about, so are you all clear with CISA? Now, can I move to CISM? Now, if you all allow me. Okay, so there are some questions, probably, I'm just looking at, so how long CISA certification lasts? It is 3 years, quickly. So certification, okay, I'll make it very easy, Vinay, at the end, the whole, the step, maybe I'll answer you, please hold on, but typically a CISA certification is issued for you for 3 years, but you keep on renewing for lifetime. You submit CP points, which I'm going to discuss at a later stage. At the end, I'll make your journey very easy. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, what you do and how do you ensure that you stay relevant throughout your life. I'll make it very easy. Just hold on your question, Vinay. But good question. Maybe we'll talk. Let me finish my flow. So are you all clear on CISA? Can you type CISM? Can I move to CISM? That's my most favorite. Because why? Because I myself, I'm a CISO. Now, do you all agree? That CISM? Now, again, do you all agree? Okay, why did I start my discussion with cyber breaches, cyber threats, cyber security, the landscape? Because while you may say all that what you spoke is great, Satish, you spoke everything, organizations are compliant, blah, 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 blah. Please understand, all that is great. You have an InfoSec team, you have a CISO team, you have but all that is finally is good when you have a good team, right? I should say army of people, right? I know you may not get a budget for an army, but having said that, you need good people. Now, the point is, it's not only about audit. Please understand, sometimes I should not say audits are good, but you'll find a lot of people coming and doing audit saying that these are issues. Equally, you need people, knowledgeable people within the organization to also fix issues. Do you all agree with me? Do you all agree? Say yes, there has to be people to fix issues also. Yes or no? Sabhi log aake bolenge, bhaiya, you have problems. I normally tell in my own organization also, it is easy to tell you have problems, but who is going to fix it? So that is where, interestingly, the CISM certification is very, very aligned to the CISO office. I'm not saying only CISO office. All the captive organizations, let me put it this way, there are so many captive banks, of course, every organization today, right? Today need, right? Will have an InfoSec department or a team or a CISO function. No, okay, the name can The name can be something different. Some organizations may call CISO function, some still may call the CIO function. Whatever, having said that, said and done, the captive, when I'm saying captive, I'm talking about internal information security teams now. Now, these guys, now whether you are already in information security team or you're working in IT, you are into technology, whichever teams you are, whichever team you are working, right? You're in technology team, you are in software team, you are in development team, you are managing SDLC, you are a managing production, whichever team you are. Currently you are, and you have an aspiration. Please understand, you want to aspire to get into information security. I will tell you, all of you, please do CISM. Because why? It's a wonderful certification to get into information security domain. Every CISO, every CIO, every information security head, I know there are guys who are in this room, right? Probably maybe at the end I can unmute them. They can also, I know there are some guys who are already heading information security, or I can unmute them. They can tell, yes, we require good people. We are not getting people. We are not getting knowledgeable people. Now, that is where I think the point is, okay, let me take an example. Again, not taking an example. Imagine just a loud, let's look at a large ITES company. Again, I'm throwing some name, maybe Infi or TCS or IBM, whatever you want to take, a Wipro, whatever. Don't you feel today all these organizations has a very deep security, a large team to manage information security within? Now, just example, TCS. TCS is such a large enterprise, right? TCS CISO is great. He is highly, naturally, so it is not only about the CISO. Under him, so there will be a lot of, right, information security managers, right, helping the CISO function to ensure that they stay secure, they stay compliant. That is the crux of the CISM certification. Again, first of all, I need to keep quick. Am I making sense? Are you enjoying? Can you type enjoy in the chat window if you're enjoying? Or is it too boring? Again, because I want to make it very interesting. So the point here is, it is not, so we've spoken about CISA is assurance. Again, having said that, even if you do CISA, it is not that you are learning everything, but only the examination point of view was audit. But here, purely CISM is purely what? Purely aligned back. Please understand, you yourself are a CISO, or you are head of information security, or you aspire to become a CISO. While if you ask me, I have a lot of my friends who are working in information security teams. You will be surprised to know they say, Satish, we are happy to be under CISO, but a CISO nahi banna hai, because CISO role is always on fire. So let me be safe. Let me play the security manager role. I'm passionate in implementing security, implementing controls. I hope all of you are getting my point. Basically, a security manager is nothing but a role. Basically, please understand, it's a role, right? Which are, you may work in a SOC team, you may work in a IT team, you're working in a security team. CISM is an excellent certification which clearly talks about how can you help the information security organization to ensure that your organization is secure. Am I making sense? Now, let's look at the domain. See, I'm making it very practical because I don't want to, I told you in the beginning itself, because PPTs are very boring. I mostly even my teaching, I teach in Notepad and just show it live. So now the point here is, let's quickly talk about the 4 key domains of information security aligned to the CISM certification. It starts with the security governance, because governance is at the top. Naturally, the CISO or the CIO at the board level, it has to start the whole message should start with they are committed for information security. The governance is at the top. So governance, it starts from top. Security governance, IT governance, COVID, a lot of things are discussed in this excellent domain. It starts with and followed by risk management. I'm sure most of you, I know most of you already working in, say, example, banks or insurance or healthcare. Most of the banks and payment organizations are PCI DSS compliant. Healthcare will be HIPAA compliant, or every organization is ISO 27001 compliant. For whatever is said and done, all the standards, frameworks in the world today are risk-based. It starts with risk, and risk. So risk-based, so risk management, is the second domain, followed by how do you establish security, how do you build a program, not only building a program, how do you develop a program, manage the program, sustain it, run it, and manage it. So that's the purpose of this certification. You are a information security manager, helping the broader organization to stay secure, stay compliant, and helping your leader, right, in achieving the broader objectives. What is your CISO objective? Is to help the organization objectives, right? The business objectives. End of the day, you are helping every stakeholder in the organization to stay secure. The last domain is my favorite. While you can talk everything security, you can do everything, but security incidents are bound to happen. Am I making sense? Incidents you cannot stop incident, right? You want to protect, you want to prevent. But having said that, the last domain talks about how do you manage incidents, BCP, DR, contingency planning. This is an excellent certification, CISM. Am I making clear? So there are some questions. How much experience we'll discuss? Don't worry. First of all, to start learning, no experience is required, honestly speaking. This is a common question people ask. People say, I read to the ISACA candidate guide, it says 5 years experience. Please understand, to start learning, you don't need any experience. Zero, you can start. Please start today. Start learning. You understand? Start learning, start preparing, joining our classes, become member. Again, I repeat, August is the best time. Please reach out to me offline. Best time to become member. Please start learning. Absolutely no prerequisites to start learning and taking exam. But we'll talk about, to get certified, there are certain criteria which I'll help you. Don't worry at all. So yes, we need to, don't worry, Samir, you need to read CRM. You may or you may not. Or while training itself, you can parallelly, our classes are weekend classes. So every week when you come back, again, we'll discuss that, the study plan. I don't want to jump there right now. So, okay, let's now move to the third certification. So are you all good to, so can I say CISM is understood. Can we move to the next certification, that is CRISC? Can you type CRISC just to say, are you all there in this? Because again, let's move to CRISC. Am I making sense? Are you all enjoying? So, okay, now the way I explained the Big Four audit firm, again, some say I need to make it more interactive, right? Some story, Big Four, audit, assurance, some other way. I said CISA is a wonderful certification. Then I went to the CISO office. Then I said CISO, CIOs need a big army of people. That is CISM. CISM guys are highly in demand. That's aspiration. Now let's move to CRISC. Excellent. So let's move to CRISC. Now you've been wondering, what story do you have for CRISC? I know. Are you all waiting to see my story? Now let me talk. Now you may wonder, okay, who now? So while, if you ask me, risk management, I told you it's a foundation. It is fundamental. Every certification evolves around risk. CISA also we talk risk-based audits. In CISM we talk risk management. But why ISACA had to get a certification purely on risk? Because today, if you look at most of the organizations as they mature, I don't want to get in teaching mode. But if you look at the banks, if you look at financial institutions, regulated enterprises, right? How many of you agree every large enterprise today has a CRO function, Chief Risk Office? Do you all agree? A Chief Risk Office, the CRO function is a very, very important function. Chief Risk Office function, very important. I'm not saying that. So while the Chief Risk Office as a function, there are so many risks out there, the CRO is concerned. But do you agree, as part of the CRO function or whatever the governance function, risk function, risk management, especially IT risk, cyber risk, is a very, very important area which cannot be ignored. Now they need good knowledgeable people to manage risk at the first line. Again, I don't want to get in teaching mode. First line defense, second line defense, third line defense, which is a very, very common structure in most of the organization. The first line, operational risk, or at an early stage. Second line, the governance function. Third line is the audit function. So there you require knowledgeable, what we call professionals to manage risk end to end. Am I making sense? So there, I think a concentrated, very, very risk-focused certification is CRISC. Means if you aspire to work in that risk function only, you are a risk practitioner, you aspire to become a risk manager, you aspire to become a risk analyst, you aspire to become a risk, you want to head a risk function, maybe that's your whole career roadmap. I think CRISC is a wonderful certification. Having said that, you start with some certification. Normally, I recommend people to start with the CISA or CISM, again, based on your career aspiration. And then people progress towards, because I myself read people, because I trained so many people who have done CISM through our Bangalore chapter. They come back, say, now I want to add one more certification. Satish, what do you feel is the relevant certification? I'm planning CRISC. Can you qualify my thought process? I help people in coaching, mentoring them. I'm very passionate. You can reach out to me offline through my LinkedIn or whatever, right? We will touch base, because I cannot address each one of your questions in this forum right now, but please come back. But the point is, you don't stop with one certification. That's the point, because the point is not about certification. The point is about learning. Your learning doesn't stop, and your learning continues, right? You start with CISA or CISM. If you're starting your certification journey just fresh, please start with CISA or CISM. But having said that, please, I once again repeat, all 4 certifications are independent. It's not that you have to do one. So all 4 are independent. There are people I know who started with CRISC. They said, I'm a banker, I work in a bank, I already have a 10 years experience in a bank. Somehow I never got time in certification. I'm already working in this function. I want to add a certification. So I want to do CRISC. Absolutely great, because he's very clear. He's already in this function. He's already in the first line. He says, I want to aspire to go to second line. Okay, he's very clear. So CRISC is the perfect certification to start with. Now, having said that, I told you all 4 are independent certifications. So let's now get into quickly. Again, I don't have so much time to talk about all certifications, domains, but easily, to make it very easy, actually, risk is, there is a life cycle. Basically, when you say risk life cycle, so you first identify risk, then you assess risk, you respond and mitigate risk, and then you control and report risk to the right stakeholders. So very nicely, very detailed certification which talks about the 4 stages of risk. Are you all with me? So this is also discussed in CISM in a smaller version in domain 2. CISA also will talk risk management, but CRISC is a detailed risk certification for the risk practitioner. Am I making sense? Did you all enjoy? I once again repeat, because just to know, are you all with me, right? I know you all are. You all are with me, because I can see, right? There's I can still see there are 100. I think. I'm sure 100, I think around 30 people all live, and yes. So the point here is, so that is about the CRISC certification. So am I making sense? Now let's move to the next one, because then we can address questions and we can again come back. So I think I told you I was talking about some stories. So audit, assurance, CISA. Then CISM is more aligned to the CISO, again, CIO or security function. Then we spoken about, now you may wonder, what is CGIT? Now, okay, CGIT is typically called Seagate. Now, last time we did our batches of Bangalore chapter, we did only CISA, CISM, CRISC. We did not do Seagate purposefully, because Seagate was going through a refresh. I'm sure I told you, every 4 years, 5 years, ISACA does a refresh for domains. So because we did not want it to, because I think the last batch was in May, June, I remember. We had an overwhelming response. People joined from all over the parts of the world, I should say. It was a great session. We had great people joining from Singapore, Middle East, and whatnot. So same is going to be now the next session, starting from 8th of August, starting with CISM. So why? I think that's the purpose of this whole session, to just encourage you to join these classes. Okay, it's purely optional. It's not essential to join classes, but the point is this is a free mentoring session, coaching session, what we call introduction session. So why is Seagate we're doing now? Because Seagate is now refreshed. So Seagate is completely refreshed now. Can you see this? So from July onwards, there's an all new Seagate with the refreshed domains. Now, I don't want to say, when I say all new, means again, the domains got refreshed. When I cleared my Seagate, I think a few years back, it was 5 domains. Now, the 2020 exam outline talks about 4 domains. I don't want to get into details, but excellent certifications for guys who are working in the CIO function or who are working in the IT governance function. Please understand, I'm sure all of you know the story of Seagate is. How many of you agree? I think, okay, now let me talk about the story because I told you CISO story is more aligned to CISM, assurance story is more aligned to CISA. Now you want to listen a story. What is Seagate story? Now, when I say story, just light note. Now, do you agree today every enterprise I told you is entering or going through a digital transformation journey? Digital disruptions are key. So please understand, every enterprise is spending a lot of money on IT. Do you agree? IT, lot of it's no more. It's not a small spending. A lot of spending happens. So they require a good governance on IT spending also, right? Enterprise IT. What is good governance? You require a framework to ensure that there is a means basically what there is a strong oversight. When I say oversight, typically oversight on IT. Please understand, this is the only certification. It's not talking only. Please understand, CISA, CISM, CIRISC is more aligned to IT security. Please understand, security. Those are, if you ask me personally, it's my personal opinion. I know it's getting recorded session, but then the point is, CISA, CISM, CIRISC are more aligned towards security. Seagate is the only certification. It's not talking only, because people ask, it's not only about security, because it's not always security, right? Because IT is helping. How many of you agree IT is an enabler today? Every organization today, IT is enabling, right? IT is helping. I normally say today CEO, CIO, the board is looking up to the CIO, is looking up to, I can make this loud statement, they're looking up to the CIO to solve business problems. Now that's where is the CIO function. That's where is your IT function. People have to be aligned to the business. People have to be aligned to the business. So these guys need to have a thorough understanding on, there has to be a methodical approach of governance of enterprise IT. You need to manage your IT resources effectively, efficiently. Please understand, when I say IT resources, I can talk about data center, I can talk about cloud, I can talk about hardware, software, containers, cloud security. Okay, I don't want to get into security. There is so much of IT resources out there. If I don't have a strong governance there, if I do not have a proper strategy, now you may suddenly wondering, the previous CJT had a domain called as strategic optimization. Now that domain very nicely is intertwined. If I use the word intertwined or woven into every domain. Strategy optimization is embedded into governance, into IT resources, into benefits relation, into risk optimization. If I go to the old outline, the 2013, the 5 domains were there. And here they made 4 domains, but if you wonder that strategic optimization is removed, no, sorry, it's not removed. It is very, very nicely embedded into governance of enterprise IT, IT resources, benefit relation, and risk optimization. Excellent domains, I should say, for folks who are working in that IT function or governance function. Or okay, this is typically my personal opinion. This certification is more aligned to little senior folks who are working in IT strategy, because you have to align your IT strategy with business strategy and provide value to the IT function or provide value to the business function. So in that context is the certification which is Seagate. Let's call it a Seagate, because IT is an enabler and it has to, you have to. So the Seagate guys are basically little senior folks who are helping the business and folks to really ensure that IT provides the best value. That's what is the benefits relation talks about. Did I make sense? I know you may have more questions, but you can reach out to me offline. But that's about Seagate. So did I? Okay, I'm just looking at my time. I told you my first 1 hour you have to just leave to me in my own way, because I explained. I just okay. Let me once again go back to my whatever I spoken. I spoken about ISACA, about Bangalore chapter, about membership value, the benefits. I spoken about all 4 certifications. Now let's, maybe I can just take a pause, address few questions, and then probably move to the newer certification, which is CDPSC, called as CDPC. Again, I don't need to talk too much time because I may have to spend more time in CISA, CISM, CRISC and CJIT because that's what you aspire to. I'm sure because these are the 4 certifications where the examinations are open. I saw some question in between, is exam open twice a year and all. Today exams are open throughout the year. I'm sure all of you, I think, I don't know how many of you are keeping track today. Even ISACA exams are purely what you call CBT. When I say CBT, CBT stands for computer-based testing. Like any other exam, of course, maybe I can spend some more time. I'll make it very easy for you, the steps. If you ask me, to simple steps, first is membership. I cannot reiterate the fact that how valuable is membership. Second, pick a certification. Means when I say certification, decide on one. Okay, don't decide on 2. Maybe start with 1. Then now parallelly, I will start looking at the questions. Definitely, no doubt, I will talk about CWC also. But again, I know few people joined this session only for CDPSC. I will talk about that, Mayank. I'll make it very easy for you. But I'm sure, I think you know, it is currently early adoption. When I say early adoption, right now the certification is not open for all. When I say all, let me make a loud statement. People, can I make a loud statement that right now this certification is not open to all? Means, okay, can I make this statement? This certification is currently open to all. When I say all, anyone without any experience can, because I again make the statement. People say, how can you make the statement? ISACA says you require 3 years experience, 5 years experience. Please understand, that is to get certified. That is to get certified. Right now, I'm talking about learning. To start with, your journey has to start somewhere. You have to start your journey. You can start your journey by start preparing for CISA, CISM, CRISC, CGATE based on your experience and career aspiration. Now, I know you're asking, so yeah, we'll talk about that. Membership, okay, quickly. I know a lot of questions coming in. Membership is pretty, there are 3 components. $135 for ISACA and $20 is the chapter fees. And of course, a Bangalore chapter, maybe if you want to take a maybe Mumbai chapter, the Mumbai chapter fees may be a little different. I don't remember now. Chapters are, and $10 is for the new member fee. Now that is the point. This is an annual membership, which is normally from Jan to December. That's what I told you. Please become member on 1st of August. Because why? Your membership will be till 2021. I think there cannot be, this is the best time to become membership, and also by taking some extra benefits, because it asks you a referring member ID. You can put my ID or whichever ID, you can reach out to me, and you will get $10 waiver. $10 waiver is a excellent waiver. Because please understand, every dollar counts today. Please understand, this is basically an yearly membership. So you're getting 17 months membership by paying just 1 year membership. Why membership is valuable? Because examination fees of certifications are very high. So they purposefully keep the exam fees. When I say exam fees, they keep it very high. Member $575, non-member they keep it $760. Now you can see why becoming member. But I want to make it very clear, membership is just not to save that exam fees. I think that's a wrong statement to make. People unfortunately become member only to save exam dollars. It's not about that. You are getting, I think ISACA, there's a website called, it says by paying $155, you pay $155 only, you get value worth more than $500 value is what you get. So please understand, I'm a member for last 13 years. I think 14th year is running. I'm not a fool to pay $155 to ISACA every year, right? I'm getting value. So value, I will talk about value probably. Reach out to me, I can send you the value. So that's a great value. So, okay, quickly steps, membership. Okay, I'm also looking at the chat window. So, okay, I'll schedule exam, however I need to reschedule. That's fine. You can reschedule. I think you can always reschedule. Please go to the, please go and log in, go to My ISACA and you can always reschedule. I think that's pretty straightforward. So okay, absolutely, you're most welcome. So a question from can a person from Delhi become member in Bangalore? Absolutely, you're most welcome, sir. We are open to all. We have members from Singapore, members from London. In fact, last time when I was teaching this session, we have members from, I don't know how many of you remember, we had we had a CP session by a gentleman called Anup who from Singapore, from Palo Alto. So he is a member of ISACA Bangalore. He says that the Bangalore chapter is more vibrant. I want to be with it. I'm fine. It's open to all. We don't want to restrict. But again, I leave it to you. We don't. So again, I'm not doing any selling here. Okay. So the point is, because today, thanks to COVID, because we have become online, because thanks to COVID, even our classes are online. That's the reason why I told you these are online weekend review classes. The schedule, what I'm flashing in front of you, and differently. Okay, I think Anupama, the discussion here is not about your examination. So you can please reach out to what you call PSI. I think online itself it allows you, but we can always reach out to PSI. PSI is the examination conducting body. You can reach out to them, write a mail, and everything happens there. So let's. I request Anupama because you can reach out to me. I can give my email ID here. I'll be on. I can even reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll help you to reschedule. Don't worry at all. You can always reschedule your exam. Of course, not if your exam is right now, but yes, you can always reschedule. So don't worry at all. Your money is safe, and you can reschedule. There are multiple reschedules are allowed because earlier we had a window, but right now. So if you give payment, can you help us membership? Why you want to? It's online, sir. It's online. Membership is online. It's everything. Please understand. Don't give money to anyone, nor even give money to me. Okay, I can help you to make it easy. But yes, please go to isaka.org, and Mahesh, reach out to me. I can help you to take membership. You have a credit card. It's much easy to become member just online. Please reach out to me somewhere in first week of August. I will help you to become membership. That is the best time to become membership. So let's now move to yes. Oh yeah, I know a lot of people. Yes. Now let's go to setup C. Now I told you right now. I again repeat. Right now, CDPSC exam is not open to all. When I say I use this word all, if you already are working in privacy domain, please understand, I repeat once again, if you already have been working in this privacy domain for long, when I say long, I think all of you can see my screen very clearly. Can you all type seeing my screen carefully? Please read out for yourself. I made this slide. Can you type a screen? I can share this also. This is getting recorded also. So the point is, if you have already experience, what is the experience? If you have experience of, imagine, see, these are the three domains of setup C. These are the three domains. Clear? Now, out of these three domains, if you have experience of a minimum experience of, means what you can see this, we call it as, this is the, what is, okay, I did not spend time on what is early adoption. Whenever ISACA gets a new certification, in fact, earlier, I don't want to use the word, even earlier when C-Risk came, so there is something called as grandfathering. Grandfathering means you already have experience. By showcasing experience, you get certified. So that grandfathering today is called as early adoption. Am I clear? So can you type in the chat window? It is clear. You already have experience. Now please look at the domains. You already have experience in domain 1 or 2 or 3. You have experience. You don't want to go through that examination route because you have experience. You want to showcase experience, and you say, I have experience. Now I want to help ISACA also, probably, because the point is, early adoption means just showcase experience, just display your, means what? Please understand the process is pretty straightforward. A lot of people reach out to me saying that, what do I do? It is pretty straightforward. If you have experience, I will help you out. Don't worry. I'll help you to complete the application form because I've done for many. I will help you out. Don't worry. So there is an application form. There is an application form. Now I see questions coming in. Now let's straightway get into. I think let's now time to get into setup scene now. Now actually it is pretty straightforward. I don't know why people get. It's not at all complex because ISACA made it so easy. Go to early adoption and straight say apply now. It is just straightforward. Please go to, can you see here? Step 1, step 2, and step 3. Now, step 1 is, first of all, you have to, see, please understand, you have to ask for yourself. You have the experience. Now, that I leave it to you. You say, yes, I've been working in the privacy domain or in the security privacy together. I've been working in this domain for so many years. So I have experience of domain 1 or 2 or 3, or you can see, right, at least 2, minimum of 2 years, 2 domains of experience you have. There is also waivers. You say, I'm already CISA, I'm already CISM, you have 2 years of waivers. So overall, you need to demonstrate that you have 5 years of experience. I can also show you the application form. Normally, the application form is not openly available because normally, the moment you say you are qualified, you say, I get started. And that's it. You say, see, it is pretty straightforward. You can see this. You first have to qualify first. If you qualify, and if you feel that you are qualifying, I think straightway go there, straightway press this button, and straight pay the money. Of course, it comes at a price. So members pay $695, non-member pays $880. Again, my request, please become member first. Don't worry, early adoption is not going out anywhere. Early adoption is open till next March 2021. Early adoption is open till 31st March, I think 31st March. Don't worry, August 1st become member, and then please come here and please get step 2 purchase and step 3 apply. It is as simple as that. It is as simple as that. Fill the application form. I will help you to fill the application form. You have to, it is like any other certification form. You have to go back and get your application form verified by your manager or supervisor or what we call, right? You have to verify the experience by someone who can vouch that you have been working in this domain. And that's it. You are certified. I'm sure many of you are seeing LinkedIn posts. I'm certified, I'm certified, I'm certified. All those people are the guys who have taken early adoption. Am I making it very clear? Is it clear? If you still are not clear, you can put your question in the chat window or in the Q&A window. I will help you. Don't worry. Don't worry. Offline, you can reach out to me. First of all, ask for yourself. You have the experience. That's it. I know there are many experienced guys here, no doubt, with all respects to them. You straightforward have to just apply and you will get certified 100%. I'll tell you. 100%. Don't worry. But there are, okay, let me put a little other one more statement. There are people say, no, I don't want to take certification like this. I want to study. I want to give exam. Then only I want to get certified. Great, excellent. I'm one of them. I also, please understand, my series certification, I was not a grandfathering guy. I waited for the manual to come. I waited for the exam to happen. I waited for the exam to take, because I like myself to be challenged. I say, I will take exam. I will pass my exam and I'll get certified. Excellent. It's your choice. It's your individual choice. You can take early adoption, no exam, showcase and get certified, or wait for the April 2021. April 2021, this will be open to all. Am I making sense now? Like any other certification, please understand today all 4 certifications, CISA, CISM, CIRIS, CCIT are open for all. When I say all, anyone can come into this domain, learn, study, and then pass the exam, and then showcase experience and get certified. Am I making sense? So if you want to go to that exam route, because you feel that, no, I don't have experience, then excellent. Then please wait. So yes, of course, CDPSC, please understand, what is it? Mayank. All certifications issued by ISACA are valid for 3 years. It is no different for CWC. All certifications, any ISACA, any certificate ISACA issues, it will be valid for 3 years. And once you get certified, what is the expectation? No expectation. The CP expectation continues. Keep submitting 120 CPs for 3 years. I'm sure all of you know 120 CP is for 3 years. I'm sure all of you know this point for 3 years. Now you can ask, what is CP? Continuing, CP stands for continuing professional education. The point is you need to constantly learn, continuing professional education. CP credits, right? CP credits can get into, so that is the point. So I don't know. Okay, BB Joe, it just got refreshed. Don't wait. You have to wait for 5 years. So it just got refreshed. So why you want to wait for next refresh? So it just got refreshed, Caesar. So first of all, please don't wait for any refresh at all. Because please understand, don't feel that you're learning anything old. Please understand, while we talk, you don't need to. Seagate just got refreshed. CISM may have refreshed, we don't know. Series may have refreshed, but you don't need to wait for refresh. If you wait for that, you keep on waiting. Don't wait. Just start. If you ask me, my personal suggestion, because I've been a mentor for many, please start right away. You understand? Learning should not stop. Don't wait. CISA just got refreshed. You can start right away. And all the certification body of knowledge currently are current. So don't wait. This year, nothing is going to change. Seagate changed. Already we have new domains. So right now, whatever you're learning, all four are absolutely current. All four are absolutely current, and you can straightway go. So should we maintain separate CPs for each certificate? No. Same CP, I apply my same CP for all my 4 certifications. So now let me put a small pause and parallelly look at the Q&A window. I know I'm now, because till now I was just talking normally. So now let me look at the Q&A window. If I know I cannot answer all the questions, but now active questions, please put in the chat window. I can see a lot of people. Anyone want to speak also? Please open up, put in the chat window saying that I want to talk, I'm ready. Let me now make it easy once again. Okay, give me 5 minutes, please. And let me now put in a quick steps once again. First, because I've been typing, first take membership. Second, what? Decide CISM, whatever. Third, start your learning, right? Start your learning means start reading the manual. I'll discuss. Fourth, okay, if you ask me, join our review courses. Very, very valuable. Fifth, don't make it a 5-year plan. Just have a window of 2 to 3 months, right? Plan. We will help you. We will have a pre-session also. People are joining this class. We'll have a pre-session study plan. I can make a study plan for you. Make a plan, 2 months, 3 months. Just go and take exam. Exams are open throughout. Because why? When I say throughout, whether it is on a PSI exam center, or you can take exam from home. Exam from home means online remote proctoring based exams are open for the COVID situation. Now I'm just making it very simple. Can you see the steps? Very clear. Decide, start learning, and make a study plan for 2 months, 3 months. Join classes, will help you, and just make it time. Decide time, date, take exam, and hooray, pass exam. You pass the exam, and we'll help you to get certified. What? And then get certified means what? Get certified means fill the application form. And once you got certified, hooray, that's it. Celebrate, if you ask me. Celebrate. And then CP journey starts. Is it valuable? I just put quick 10 steps. Is it valuable? Okay, at least give some thumbs up. Say yes. Okay, rest all will decide. Don't worry. Every piece of information is available in the website. I'll make it easy for you. The fees I spoken, the fees is common. All certifications, the fees is common. If you feel it's valuable, quick time. Okay, I just typed in front of you. Just top 10 steps for you to make it very valuable. Now you tell me. Now we can see, you understand. So I think the point is, so you have to start your journey. Please, my only request is, Lord, because we keep doing these sessions so frequently, people just come to the sessions and then they go back and then they go back and in their own. Please don't go back to your start. You have to start somewhere. It is, if you ask me, okay, don't take big step. Start with membership and then straight start joining our classes. That itself will give you. Please understand, I know, Mahesh, you're asking, do we require any documentation of experience? Don't worry, Mahesh. Right now, you are taking the first step. So first of all, people ask this common question and they get too much worried about certification. That is later on. Don't worry. One important thing which I forgot to explain. After you pass your examination, ISACA gives you 5 years time to get certified. Now, is there anything better than that? You have how much time? You have 5 years time. Now, why you want to worry right now? Right now, worry about, if you ask me, again, sorry, Mahesh, I'm not debating a question. I will love to talk to you, Mahesh. Please feel free to, I will love to talk about that. Don't worry, I will help you to. There's no great documentation. Your supervisor will sign it for you happily. You say, you go and talk to your manager, say, I am a seasoned